30 times a day. That's how many times the Brightline train passes through Brevard County. And at every intersection, the train horn blows.
It warns motorists and pedestrians that the train is approaching for their own safety. However, some folks who live near the track say they've had enough. As 9 investigates, reporter Shannon Butler shows us, they are now pushing for the city of Melbourne to establish quiet zones.
David Martha Heaton knew buying a home by the railroad tracks would come with some noise. For years, it was the occasional freight train and these planes at the Air Force Base. But what they didn't expect a decade ago was this. The horns blowing from the Brightline trains.
You feel like you're in the crossroads of the world. And we'll have some planes coming over, it's going into Patrick Air Force Base, you know. Yeah. Planes, trains, and automobiles.
The city has 18 crossings, and there are 32 trains that go between Orlando and Miami every day. That means the Heatons and their neighbors hear 2 train horns every hour.
You definitely hear it. But it's, you know, it's just a noise. The train isn't noisy. Brightline isn't noisy. It's come and gone in 4 seconds here because it's relatively short.
So now they're asking the city of Melbourne for quiet zones.
And really, we knew we were buying on a railroad track, so, you know, we can't complain about the noise. However, since there is an option with the Federal Railway Act to get a noiseless or a quiet zone, then we want to look into it and support it.
Under the train horn rule, engineers must sound horns 15 to 20 seconds before crossings. But the Federal Rail Administration does allow for quiet zones if there are safety upgrades at the intersections like medians or gate arms to cover all lanes of the road. Brightline has already spent tens of millions of dollars in safety improvements along the route, improvements that may help the communities qualify for those quiet zones already. But getting the zones in place means action from the city to study the zones, something that will take time and possibly money. Adding more time, the Heatons will hear the horns all day, every day. Now, according to Brightline spokesperson, quiet zones have already been implemented along the Brightline route within Palm Beach and Broward counties, with efforts underway right now to establish them in parts of the Treasure Coast, too. The city of Melbourne was supposed to discuss the quiet zones at this evening's council meeting, but it was removed from the agenda. Heaton and his wife still plan to ask the city to consider it during public comment. Of course, we'll keep you posted.